Hello, and welcome back to our Stonewood AFK Endurance build. We're on the last amplifier. Last video we did the east direction for our amplifier D, which is placed down here on the map at the southwest. So if yours is one of the other amplifiers, you'll have to let me know in the comments if you really, need me to do a video for that. I can briefly show where you would build stuff, but obviously mine is here, so I'm building for these. And now we're going to be doing the south direction, which is fairly simple. I say. So we did the east here, and we have sort of this trap set up here. And what we're going to do is just basically build off the back of this. So we built up to here, and what we can do is, I guess, sort of finish where we started. So if we get a low wall here, make this one a low wall. That's why we didn't place any traps on it, because we weren't fully certain what we were going to be doing with it yet. But with that built, then we can utilize this space as the enemies come up. If we place walls at the sides down here and then all the way to the back, get a ceiling over this entire thing. And then what we can do is you could potentially do some more low wall there to get more of the, what are they called? The wall dynamos. You probably want to block them from coming up this side like that. And then maybe just reinforce it with one of those. And, it'll just stop them from coming up that side, because we don't want them to actually get into this bit, right? Like, this leads past, our trap tunnels and towards the amplifier. So if we stop them from doing that, you could potentially put one there as well, just to, really reinforce that we don't want them to go that way. Now, for this little bit up here, they can obviously get on top of our trap tunnels. So we'll block this off. I'm just going to do it now as opposed to like at the end or anything, just because we're here and it makes sense to. That should be plenty enough to stop them from going up. You could add more if you need at the top if you do find any problems with it, but that should be plenty, as I say. And then if we continue these down at the bottom here and across here, we also want to block this off, so we'll do that now as well. So just simply by doing the same sort of thing all the way up here. And this one is very important because they can get like all the way over here. So you might want to do a bit of extra, protection around this by doing this sort of design like that. And just make sure you wrap the whole thing up with a bow. It is Christmas after all. And then, this is going to take care of anything unwanted in that regards. Now, for this area down here where we have built, it's kind of up to you how you want to go about this. Like, you can add another wall here, for example, to get some more broadside traps on. Any further out and you're going to be going into the actual spawn territory, so just be careful with that. What we can do in the middle here is get our low wall and then do a bit of extra damage with that. You could potentially do some here as well if you want, that sort of thing. Get a ceiling zap. You could put a full wall at the back as well for some wall darts and do that. It's up to you, or you could close it off. I think I'm actually going to close it off just because we can put broadsides on and ping them back and forward, which I think will be more effective. If we actually close this up, if we actually put that like that and instead get rid of that, they still won't come up here because we obviously have this block here, and then if we put a floor there as well, they won't be able to get up. And you can even put a cone on top of that just to stop them. But what this allows us to do is make it so that we can put an extra low wall here, and then when they get to here, they'll come up. So that's what we're going to do with that. At this point, we're going to have a high ceiling over it, so don't worry about building that, or worrying that we're not placing ceilings here at the moment. That's the reason why. Then over here, as I say, once you get to this point, it's kind of far out, so you can't really. It's far out, dude. You can't really do too much because the floors will get broken and such. So there's not a whole lot you can do. You could probably get away with putting a wall there. Potentially, you might get Smashers Break It or just Husks in general because it's sort of blocking, their route to get through. But it makes it so they have to go a bit further. So I think it is worth it. up here we have somewhat of a flank route, but the thing is, like, if we come all the way up here, we'll see that this is our other trap tunnel up here. So what I'm going to do is just leave it open. I don't think we need to block them coming up, because, you know, where they're going to go, just through the other trap tunnels. They're going to get damaged if they do that, so who cares? We'll just look that up while we're here. So yeah, this is all we can do down here. We will do the ceiling as well afterwards, don't worry about that. And then the other part of the trap tunnels is here. So because these are so close to each other and the spawn's so wide, we can't really block one of the directions off, because the ones that spawn here would just want to break through it. They wouldn't, you know, find another way around. So what we'll do is we'll just build full trap tunnels down. In fact, you don't need floors on this side. Well, you could do, actually. We can still do floors on that side. It's just, it gets a bit muddy here because we're going to be doing that direction. And, you know, things are going to get affected by it. But basically what we'll do at the top here is, you know, our classic low walls in the middle, full walls at the sides, like this. And then once we get here, we can, we don't need that wall. We can get those going. And, yeah, I'll just sort of leave that bit for now, because we're not really too sure how that's going to affect with the other ones. But if we do the same sort of thing we usually do, and then in this bit, get the low walls in the middle, we can put ceilings on this bit lower down, and basically through the entire thing, like so. Because this is, you know, very muddy a ramp, it's going to be a bit difficult to deal with that, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. So don't worry about that. We can get another wall here for more damage, and then probably leave this one for now. Then once we're out here where the actual ramp is to come up, we'll do what we usually do. So build the walls out, make sure we get a ceiling above it. As they come up, you could put, you know, a wall in the middle, get some traps on that, because we're basically just going to have them in two different lanes here, right? So it doesn't really matter about, you know, separating them. And then you can do a bit more at the bottom here. Again, you won't be able to do too much, just because of the way the spawns work. Now, you might get some stuff spawn around here for this direction, so don't worry about building these walls. They won't try to break through it, or if they do, I mean, who cares, right? Like, we've got so many traps. But they will be more likely to, you know, go up our trap tunnels around here, or just die to the ceiling stuff. So we want to have these walls in, because it means we can do broadside, which is the most efficient method of damage in a setup like this. So yeah, there, we'll keep the low ceiling for there, and then once we get out, we can do the raised one with the tire traps and such. So, that should, in fact, we can leave these ones open. My apologies. These ones we can have over, because we, you know, that's blocking above it anyway, but for these ones, we can leave it open, because we will have a high ceiling above it. And then out here, you know, this, again, it's too far out here to be able to do anything. You could potentially put one wall there, and you could trial putting some floors. I think these ones probably would break, so, you know, it's up to you whether you want to place that or not. You place it at your own peril and, you know, see what happens when it comes to actually doing it. Put a wall there and one opposite. Get some broadsides going, but, you know, we don't really need to do too much more once we've got here. I think that should be it for the trap tunnel builds. As far as flanking goes, they could potentially, you know, try and make their way all the way up here. We would probably block this on the, cover this even on the other video, but I'll just cover it now. Just making sure we stop them coming up here. There's a few other ways they can get up, I think. Or is that it? There's a ramp over here. I mean, like, at this point, I don't think they're going to, you know, come all the way out here and make the trip just to get up. Probably to cover the side as well. But we have enough structures to do it, so why not, eh? Just get your cones on top. You could do some ceiling stuff, but I really don't think anything's going to make it all the way over there. Just to try and get on top. It's going to be much easier. It's going to be much easier for them to just go through the tunnels. So now when we're at this point, we can start getting the ceiling up. So I mean, obviously up here, if they did make it up here, they could walk on the tunnels, but these bits are already built anyway, so there's no harm in placing this stuff. Pretty much just covering the entire area with this, not gonna lie. So we want to do obviously maximum damage, so we want to make sure we cover the entire trap tunnels. Potentially want to put one just there, just in case an enemy drops down into that bit, you know, just to finish them off. Basically covering this entire thing with traps. This bit here and this bit here. Enemies can't get up here. You know, there's no way for them to get up, so don't worry about building on it. You know, we're going to do that just to give the ceiling a bit more structural support. And then just go all the way back here. So at this point, enemies can get up here. So instead of blocking it off, what we can do is just not build up to it. At this point, we're so far back, you know, we don't need to do any more. Because there's not going to be too many spawn back here. We don't need to go that all out in ceiling traps. So we'll probably stop there. I mean, you can get over this bit, but this is sort of starting to cover the other direction, you know, for traps. So probably stop there, and then for this one, you could just do like another 2 and then stop. Again, this is the sort of thing where, like, if you have loads of material, go all this way out, but you don't need to. You could probably get away with not putting those down if you want. So please do feel free to just not build as far out as I have on this if you want to save your metal, your traps, that sort of thing. But I'm going to stop it there for now, and yeah, I'll level all this stuff up and get traps placed, and then I will see you shortly. Thank you so much for watching to this point. If you are enjoying the video, please do let me know in the comments. But also, I am on the Supporter Creator program, so if you could please use my code CAMBG, and be sure to subscribe as well to get all future videos. Thank you so much. The anti-air trap 1 range on there for durability. Ceiling drop trap, so we're going for a crit build on this one as well. Ceiling electric field, we're going for a crit build once again, you know it. Floor freeze trap, so for this one we've got 2 impact and knockback. Floor launcher, so for whacking all the impact and knockback on there. Tar pit trap, so for this one I like to go for full durability. Wall darts, another crit build, another all-rounder build. The wall dynamo trap, so for this one I've gone for energy. Wall launcher, so for this one we've got 3 impact and knockback. Wall lights, so another 3 impact, 2 reload speed. Wall spikes here, we've gone for crit build, so 2 crit rating, 2 crit damage. Wooden floor spikes, so crit build on this one. That's pretty much everything leveled up and you're ready to place your traps. Just one thing, I forgot to put a floor here. Don't know how I missed it. You're going to want a floor there. Just wanted to point that out before we got into placing the traps. I honestly don't know how I missed that. But yeah, these traps are sort of already, these trap tunnels even, are sort of already built for us because, you know, the last video, they sort of connect to them. But as we come through, we're going to place some floor spikes. On the side over here, we'll get some wall darts. On this side, we'll go broadside on this side. We could do it on both sides, actually, if you want. It's up to you. It's not overly important. For this one here, we can't really do anything in the ways of, like, broadside, because it's just going to hit this cone and not really do too much. So we'll just do wall darts here, and then on this side, we will get the wall dynamo. Oh, they've all reset to the higher level ones. Get the low level ones down there as well. Ceiling traps, we will go for the ceiling electric field at the sides. And then on these ones, we will go for tire drop trap. So making sure we face the other way so that they knock the enemies back out of the tunnels. This one up here, we can get a wall darts on. So if we put that there, then down here we can get broadside. Yep, just wanted to make sure there was a wall at this side as well. Can't do too much on that one, so we'll leave that. Down here, broadsides both sides. Here we have the 2 walls, so we can do it there as well. On these ones, we'll do wall darts because there's no walls opposite. So for the best possible damage, we'll do broadsides. Then dynamos on the low ones. Throughout this entire thing down here, we will get floor spikes, even not wall spikes. These are floors on all of these, including this one. On this one here, we'll actually go for a wall launcher. I'm just going to place a 130 just because I can't be bothered. Out here, we can get just some wall darts just to cover a bit of extra damage in this area. I feel like I should probably just cover... we've done everything in here, just the ceiling, but I'll cover that in its own right because we could just do that all in one big go. Over here we can get some more broadside traps on these ones that are facing each other. These are facing each other just about enough. They are 3 blocks away. Any further and it wouldn't really be too useful, but they are close enough, so we'll do that. All the way up here, broadsides even... I can't put one on that one. Don't know why. Can't on that one either. Can't on that one though. Strange. We'll just leave them without then. It's not really too important. On these two up here, we're going to do ceiling electric zaps, because these will affect the ones in here as well. Obviously on the lower walls, we will get the dynamos on all 3 of these, both sides. And then once again on the floor, we will do wooden floor spikes. And then we can do a bit more as we come up. So wall darts on the back here to shoot everything as it comes up. We'll do broadsides on the walls at the sides, all the way through this, in fact, to here. In these 2, we're going to want wall darts. Make sure we get everything that's going through. And on the floor, we will do a wooden floor spike to begin with, and then we will do a freeze. And then at the last ones, we will do some tar pits. Again, we'll cover this sort of thing in the next direction when we do the next video. Throughout this entire bit, we'll do ceiling electric field because it will apply across both. Just for this one at the end, though, we'll do tire. That's floor traps, not ceiling traps. We'll do tire on these 2. Because it'll roll down the hill, affect everything down here, and also knock the enemies back a bit. On all of the low walls, you guessed it, we're placing wall dynamos on these bad boys. All the way down. That'll do it. Don't know where that accent came from. Yeah. I think the only thing we might want to cover is just the areas where the enemies could, you know, potentially try flanks. On this one, I'm just going to get my wall spikes. Because enemies might come up here and end up dropping in. So we've obviously got the ceilings to mitigate to that, but just in case, we will put the wall spikes to make sure the wall stays full health. On these ones all the way up here, probably not necessary because, like I say, it's so far away, they're not going to want to come up here. But just for paranoia alone, I'm just going to put wall spikes on them. But as I say, they're not going to get attacked, I don't think. Then all that's left to do trap-wise is the ceiling all the way down at the bottom. Now, for all of these, we're just going to put tire traps on it all. Literally just tire traps on all of these. So as I've done previously, I'll just, honestly, just fast forward through this bit. But as I say, you're just putting tire traps on the ceilings. Anywhere where it would fall on an enemy. If it's over like a bit the way we've blocked, you don't need to place them. But as long as enemies would be able to stand there, we want to place them down. And direction isn't overly important, but as you get towards the trap tunnels, just make sure you're facing generally in the direction of your amplifier to make sure that you get that correct. Alright, so I placed them all. I ran out of the 77 halfway through. I don't know if you noticed in the speed up. This one right here. I had to break it because I put a gas trap down by accident. As I say, you don't need to go all the way out here. You can get rid of this last row on both ends if you really want to, if you want to save the metal traps and so on. This bit here, you could close up just to, stop any flingers from doing their thing. Probably best to just block it up. Just in case. I don't think they'd be able to get an angle. But I mean, it's Save the World, anything could happen, they could patch it and it could change, so like, just to be on the safe side, I'd recommend just blocking it up, at least for peace of mind. And then finally, we have the Smasher Bait, so I've gone over it so many times at this point, but just replicate this structure with the thin walls, the arch at the top, and then a low wall above that. It basically just gives the Smashers something to aim for, so that they want to come all the way through the tunnel and break that instead of your actual tunnel itself. But yeah, that'll do it for the south direction, so we've just got one more, the west direction, to cover, and then we'll be ready to run our endurance and spend like 5 hours of our life just watching the screen go by, but we'll get so much XP and rewards from it. It's going to be so worth it. Oh my god, look at that. That's interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and comment as usual, and like the video if you did like it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.